You like children?
I do if they're properly cooked.
Hello, I'm here at a homeopathic women's retreat getting some advice from some expert panelists on what it's like to be a mother. My first panelist is Rebecca. Rebecca, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a mother of 2 children. I have an 11-year-old girl and an 8-year-old little boy.
Our next panelist is Nicole. Nicole, would you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm a single mother of a 2.5-year-old little boy.
And finally, we have Linda. Linda, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Linda. I am a crazy mom with a 12-year-old daughter and a 15-year-old teenager. That explains everything.
All right, so our first question is for Nicole and Rebecca. What is the biggest change you have experienced after having children? Nicole, what would you say?
Definitely my hips. They are much wider than they were pre-pregnancy.
Good to know. And Rebecca, what would you say is the biggest change you've experienced?
Well, I had birthing hips before the children, so I didn't have that change. But the roadmap of stretch marks that I now possess and the lack of waistline has been the biggest change I've experienced since I've had children.
Good thing it's too late for me to turn back now. So let's move on to our next question. How informed or uninformed were your husbands for what it was going to be like once you had the child? Rebecca, we'll start with you.
Well, I was fortunate enough to marry a man who grew up on a dairy. And in case you are all wondering, the pregnancy cycle of a cow and a woman are very similar. So my husband was very informed each month as to how I was growing and changing and would regularly explain the birth process to me as he has birthed many cows or many calves, and he felt that my birth experience would be very similar.
Interesting. Linda, what would you say?
I would say that my husband was not expecting what he would have to do after changing my son for the very first time. He was a newborn, and not only was he peeing all over my husband, but he had also been shooting out from the other end at the exact same time. And he was really angry when I stood back and laughed the entire time. He asked for help immediately. It was pretty funny.
Oh, the things that they learn. All right. So, as a mom to be, I'm really interested to know, when did your kids start to really pull their own weight around the house? Start to, carry their load per se. Linda, what would you say?
I think that start them early so that they can start doing some things to help you out. I think the younger, the better. I started making a chore chart when my kids were probably 5, my youngest being 5, my oldest maybe even 4 and 7. I think they were able to do a lot of things to help me out.
All right. And Nicole, what would you say?
I would say my 2.5-year-old son is a heavyweight champion in diapers.
And Rebecca, what do you think?
Well, like Linda, I started chore charts at a fairly young age, but if I was to be completely honest, if you're still asking someone daily if they're wearing underwear, you probably can't trust them to feed the dog.
Speaking of feeding, what would you say was your strangest craving while you were pregnant? Linda, we'll start with you.
My strangest craving was honeycomb cereal. I just couldn't get enough.
And Rebecca?
Being a vegetarian at the time, I wanted to eat sausage.
And Nicole?
Salt and vinegar chips.
Those all sound pretty good right now. And finally, what's one piece of advice you would have for an expectant mother, such as myself? Rebecca, let's start with you.
I would say that you're going to get a lot of crazy advice and a lot of people telling you what you should be doing, and you need to trust yourself because you're the only one who knows what your baby needs.
I like it. All right. Linda, what would you say?
I think that with technology and with the ability to take photos, but keep them in your phone. My advice would be to develop them as quickly as you can, or create a photo book each year based on the year of your child, just so that you don't just leave them on your phone and not get them developed.
And finally, Nicole.
Don't be afraid to ask for drugs during your delivery or after.
All good things to keep in mind. Thank you for tuning in to our panel on what it's going to be like to be a mom, and catch us next time.